This is insane! Someone made Squid Game for the Game Boy, a full fan-made homebrew game on hardware turning 36 this month. And with RetroAchievements pushing me through every challenge, I had no choice but to see it through. The game covers Season 1, so expect minor spoilers. Every game from the show is here with the main story beats shown via brief slides which look absolutely horrifying! I'm just kidding, honestly this game rocks and the slides are a great little refresher between games. It's wild how well the slides capture the look and feel of the show. If you've never heard of RetroAchievements, it's super simple. Just make an account, log in through your emulator, and start unlocking digital glory. Buckle up because it's time to play Squid Game Boy. Don't worry if you have a backlog because Squid Game Boy can be completed in just 20 minutes. Mastery will take up to a couple of hours and I'd rate the difficulty at 2 out of 10, mild but fun peril. There are no missable achievements. The game has 3 endings and 2 difficulties with hard featuring permadeath. Squid Game has 20 achievements worth 36 points and of those, 10 are progression based, 1 is for the secret ending, 8 are skill based, and there's 1 for activating the cheat code in the manual. Yep, that's right, the game comes with box art and a fully illustrated manual which I referred to for the cheat codes later on. There's even a Game Boy cartridge sticker. Musing through the manual reminded me of younger times when dial-up tested frustrations in the Macarena was all the rage at weddings. The game kicks off with a quick intro. We play as Gi-hon, unemployed, drowning in debt and just desperate enough to accept a shady offer promising life-changing money. Upon accepting the offer, he's gassed unconscious. Gi-hon wakes up in a giant room with 455 other poor souls all roped into whatever this game is. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably seen Red Light, Green Light, a harmless children's game turned psychological horror. Starring the nightmare fuel Yong-hee doll, it's time to run for our lives. Literally. Game 1 plays out as a side-scroller where we have to reach the goal on the far right. Just don't move when the doll turns to face us. It's simple, but it gloriously evokes the feel of the show. The timing is generous, so as long as you ease off the D-pad when our eyes scan the screen, you'll be fine. Carefully weaving past the corpses of our fallen competitors, we cross the finish line and unlock our first achievement with Red Light, Green Light. The piggy starts to fill with cash and 201 players remain. Our next game is Sugar Honeycomb and poor Gi-hon picked the short straw with the umbrella shape. After initially heading the wrong way, I realised we have to trace the shape counterclockwise. Using the needle, the game plays a lot like one of those old school Buzz Maze toys. Except messing up here means a bullet to the head for poor Gi-hon. Thankfully, it's way easier than it looks and you can pretty much cut corners, making the man with the umbrella an easy win. With the contestants' numbers almost cut in half, 107 players are left, and it's time for the only minigame not featured in the show. Instead, we have to deal with the utter carnage that took place when everyone went loco at night. Lights Out plays as a 2D platformer where we have to avoid getting bashed by the cronies working with Chang Dok-soo. The controls are solid, though poor Gi-hon looks like he's 5 minutes deep into holding a piss, bouncing on the spot like he's queuing for a nightclub toilet. We make our way to the right, booping enemies as we go until we hit our first boss. Dok-soo stabs left to right, knife in one hand, cigarette in the other, like he's halfway through a nervous breakdown but still committed to looking cool. It's the kind of energy you'd expect from someone who smoked their way through every bad decision they've ever made, like my next door neighbour. A few well-timed jumps and he's toast. Stick to the team unlocks as another 27 contestants are erased from existence. Tug of war is about to begin and poor Gi-hon stuck with the old man and a bunch of girls, but thankfully Il-nam has a winning strategy. We start by bashing the B button like it's international track and field, then switch to rhythmically tapping it once the bar fills to pull in sync. Our reward is a fair world as the unlucky opposing team plummets to their death. 40 players remain and our players are advised to pick a teammate. Gi-hon picks the old man before being told they are actually playing against each other. I won't spoil the full scene if you somehow haven't seen Squid Game, but let's just say it's less friendly game of marbles and more emotional collapse simulator. I was nearly in tears, though I'm as sensitive as a vegan stuck at a pig roast with no exit. The game is simple. Il-nam suggests they play odd or even. Each player starts with 10 marbles and we have to guess how many Il-nam is holding. A few guesses and some existential dread, we unlock Kambu and say goodbye to the most wholesome character in the most brutal way possible. Goodbye, old man. Only 17 players remain and after player 69 takes the quick way out, just 16 move on to stepping stones. Gi-hon's going last, which is a stroke of luck considering each step has a 50-50 chance of death. One glass pane holds, the other doesn't. In Squid Game Boy, the game plays out as a horizontal platformer. Unfortunately, I failed at the first jump. If this were real, my organs would already be on eBay. My second attempt proved I'd last about 10 seconds in the real Squid Games, but finally, with my third attempt, I somehow managed to stop being an incompetent knob and made it to this mini interlude where the lights are switched off for the VIP sadistic pleasure. Thankfully, a couple of well-directed hops later, and I scored VIP for the penultimate finish. We're down to the final 2 players as we reach the titular game, Squid Game. It's a last man standing brawl to the death against Sang-woo. Gameplay-wise, it's similar to the boss fight in Lights Out, but Sang-woo hits harder and actually puts up a fight. Expect to land some well-timed jumps if you want to survive. After finally taking him down, we unlock one lucky day and face one last choice. Head left towards Sang-woo or walk away. Naturally, as a paragon of kindness and restraint, I chose the high road, unlocked Let's Go Together, and proved once and for all that I'm the kind of person who forgives. Then weaponizes it 6 months later during an unrelated argument. To unlock the alternate ending, I replayed the entire game, partly because the experience is just that damn cool. But if you're after the fastest route to mastery, you can use a cheat code to jump straight to Squid Game, skipping everything else. On my second run, I focused on clearing up a few of the game-specific achievements too. I failed to clear red light, green light quickly enough for the achievement, but made up for it in Sugar Honeycomb by cheating. Holding A, B, and select triggers an alternate scene where you have to mash A to lick the cookie, which honestly feels spiritually aligned to how I approach snacks in real life. That little shortcut earned me a sweet treat, a reward for the shameless cookie-licking degenerates among us. I botched Lights Out, so I started over. This time in Sugar Honeycomb, I rushed to the end and unlocked Careful Cookie Carving for finishing with 30 seconds left. No licking required. After several restarts to figure out the right approach, I finally managed a run where I didn't kill a single enemy on the way to Doc Soo, earning the next achievement. The early enemies are easy enough to avoid until we hit this guy. I couldn't find a clean way past him and the next one without taking damage, so I took the hit, jumped past the second guy and limped on like a true pacifist hero. The remainder are pretty easy to jump, just don't get too close before jumping or you'll accidentally leapfrog instead of avoiding. Look for the light in the bag. I buggered up the timing in Tug of War and so had to lie in marbles for our next unlock, though I wasn't sure how to do this at first. It turns out we just have to play badly, and when we lose we can lie, netting us, which one did you say just now, for behaving like a politician caught with their pants down. I failed Stepping Stones' challenge but walked away at the end, unlocking No One's Calling anymore for choosing cash over connection and proving the system works exactly as intended. Before tackling hard mode, I went for the remaining skill-based unlocks. First up was Red Light Green Light Speedrun, which is surprisingly easy once you figure out the best route. This was the path I took, and the main challenge is navigating the vertical movement, mostly to avoid tripping over the growing pile of corpses. With Fly Me to the Moon unlocked, it was time for Tug of War. This one takes a bit of practice. It's mostly a matter of waiting until the last possible second to tap B and pretending you have nerves of steel. With the rope is tied done, we move on to Stepping Stones, which has to be completed in one go with no more than 10 jumps. I nearly beat this first try, but unfortunately when the lights went down I fell to my death. You can jump 2 panes of glass at a time, and the key is this sacrifice gives you an extra hop. A couple more jumps and we net Don't Look Down. Our final game-specific achievement is for winning Squid Game without taking damage. The main things to be aware of here are Sang-woo's sudden directional changes and jumping. Plus, we also have a true retro throwback in the form of occasional slowdown. With Inspector Royale complete, we have only 3 achievements left, or 2 if you skip the story earlier. For hard mode, I was playing while half asleep, so instead of showing you a bunch of footage with me playing badly, here's a dog in a bikini with a glamour shot for good measure. Seriously though, this is the toughest achievement due to permadeath, but despite a few silly mistakes, I still did it in about 45 minutes while sleep deprived. I perished a few times getting game over, but eventually I was able to reach Squid Game again, and this time I was victorious. Once again, we choose to leave with Sang-woo, unlocking Gihon. I'm sorry, I won't spoil the secret ending as it contains a pretty major plot twist, but our penultimate achievement pops with Do You Still Have Faith in Humanity? All that remains is to enter the code left 6 times, right 4 times, then press A on the minigame select screen. That unlocks 64-bit secrets, and with that, Squid Game is mastered! What a fantastic little DEMAKE that was, and if you're hungry for more, check out my Pokemon Snap video here, where I mispronounce several Pokemon and juggle with Oak's unpredictable standards. Until next time, remember, Retro always rules.